Africa World Airlines, the airline reported to have denied a physically challenged woman access to their aircraft, says it takes disability clients seriously. Rita Kreba, a Yale fellow, said she was denied boarding because the airline would not accommodate her crutches. The company maintains it allows persons with disability pre-boarding privileges, among others. It also says on its website that it transports wheelchairs and other assistant devices for personal use at no charge. Rita has been narrating her last Saturday's experience to JoyNews.
On the 5th of May, I was at a program at GIMPA. That's yearly Young Africa Leaders Initiative. I was supposed to leave to Kumasi for a meeting at 10 o'clock. So I asked for a flight to be booked for me because I can't get there by that time, that 10 o'clock. So I went to the airport. Immediately I entered. They took my passport, looked into it, and asked me whether I can climb the stairs. I told them that yes. They asked me to sit down and that my flight is at 7. I was there when my other colleagues from Yale came and joined me. They were also going to Kumasi. So when it was time for me to board the plane, a lady told me I can't send my crutches inside the plane. I told her I'm a person with disability. You saw me, I use crutches to walk. I can't leave the crutches behind and go. So, I was just trying to explain myself to her. My other colleagues too joined in and was trying to find out what exactly was happening. So when they told them that the aircraft is small and I can't send my crutches inside, so they told them that they should allow me so that they will aid me. Like when after the stairs, they will aid me to my seat. And then they can take my crutches and put it wherever they want to keep it. So that after landing, they will bring it to me so that I can continue my journey. But they said there is no way they can get me on board. So my friends tried to no avail, so they have to go and leave me stranded at the airport.
So you missed out on that meeting?
Yes. And it was a very important meeting for my NGO and myself.
You were supposed to have notified them 48 hours before your flight that you had some form of disability. Did you know about this?
When the bookings were sent to me, I didn't see anything on it that reads about disability. And more to the point, it was yearly. I booked the flight through yearly because I was there with them 3 weeks. We were camped at a place, so I couldn't go out and do transactions. So they have to do that on my behalf.
And you do not know if they did any notification to the airline that you had any form of...
Yali knows me because I was with them for 3 weeks. They know I'm a person with disability. So they know me. So they won't do anything that will inconvenience me at any rate. I can take a staircase with an aid, but they asked me that when I enter the plane, I should leave my crutches. And I don't know where my seat is located. And my friends assisted to aid me on board to my seat so that you take my crutches. After, then you give it to me. But they said no aids are allowed.
Okay, so right now, what exactly do you want to have done?
I want justice to be done. It's time we end this. This discrimination against persons with disability must stop. We are persons with disability. We have the right to also take flight and go to wherever we want to do whatever business that we are supposed to do. It's our fundamental human rights. So I think if I can afford it, I should be able to pick a flight and go wherever I want to go.
Since this incident happened, have you heard from Africa World Airlines about this?
No.
Have you made a formal complaint to them about this?
No. I want an apology. I want the right thing to be done. I want them to provide, they should make things easy for us, persons with disability in the airport and inside their plane too. We are also human beings. There can be an emergency that I have to go somewhere and I can't use a bus and I have to take a plane. So provisions should be made for us.
So that is Rita there narrating her audio to Komla Adom. So I'm going to go through for you what the Disability Act says about persons with disability moving on aircrafts. So this is what it says, and this is Ghana's Disability Act 2006, Act 715. It said that the Civil Aviation Authority and any other authority responsible for the management of a port shall provide facilities that will aid the movement of a person with disability at the port, reserve seats on vehicles, etc. 29. A person responsible for the booking of passengers on a commercial bus shall reserve at least 2 seats for the persons with disability, except that where the bus is full, without the reserved seats having been occupied, the driver or the person responsible for putting passengers on the bus may fill the reserved seat for with other passengers. Now, here is what happens if this act is contravened. It says a person who contravenes sections 25 and 29 commits an offence and is liable on summary conviction to a fine not exceeding 50 penalty units or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 3 months or both. Now, this is what Ghana's Disability Act says. Now, I'm going to go on to read to you what Africa World has on their website as to how they take care of persons with disabilities. It says that our will ensure that customers with disability enjoy their flight with us. We provide assistance to customers with special needs during the reservation process, checking in flight and upon reaching their destination. Information can be found by calling a representative, so they put all of that there so you know, and it goes like this. 1. Transport of customers with disabilities of any kind unless there is a specific safety related regulation that requires us not to do so. So they're saying basically that they provide transport services for persons with disabilities unless there is a security reason. We're not sure if there's any security reason for that in this particular instance. Also, transport of wheelchairs and other assistant devices for personal use, they do that at no charge. So it's quite interesting that in this particular instance, the lady could not take her crutches on board, as she says she was prevented from doing so. They say that they also offer emplaning and deplaning. Attention should be brought to our representative of the person's condition upon ticket purchase. So when you're buying the ticket, at the point you're buying the ticket, you need to alert them that you have this condition so they can take care of it for you. Pre-boarding to find a suitable seat. Customers with disabilities are not allowed to sit at the emergency exit rows. And it goes on and on and on about what they do, basically to indicate that they do give some priority to persons with disability. What remains to be known is what happened in this particular instance. Was it miscommunication on the part of those who booked the ticket for Rita, or was it misunderstanding by the crew members? That is what we're waiting to know. Africa World officials say they will respond to this matter in the course of the day. We have yet to get their response to this. We were told that they'll be releasing a statement, and that statement has yet to come in. We're told that it will be somewhere after midday. Well, it's a few hours after midday, so we're still hoping that there will be some response from the Africa World Airline so we get an understanding of what is happening. In the meantime, an NGO that's working with Rita has said that they will explore every available option to make sure that this, whatever the situation is, that Rita gets the sort of compensation that they believe that she should have. In the meantime, the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has condemned the Africa World Airline officials saying that their actions were unacceptable. The physically challenged Rita Kreba says she was denied access, of course, and that's the story that we brought to you earlier. And speaking at the launch of a short course on access to justice for persons with disabilities, the sector minister of Otiko Officer Jaba said the airline must, as a matter of urgency, render an unqualified apology to the victim.
Who is more vulnerable? Is it the abled person who is sick or the disabled person who is sick? Our society must remove these discriminatory lenses and look at the most vulnerable and ensure that they should be assisted first. Today, as I speak, an issue was brought to my attention about a lady who wanted to board a plane, and she was denied because of her disability, and the question was where to keep her crutches. Seriously? Can't we keep the crutches in the luggage compartment? Can't we keep the crutches where the service, the air hostesses stand? The planes should be compliant for persons with disabilities. And today, Ghana, after 61 years, can deny a person with disability from getting on board because they have nowhere to keep her crutches. I apologize on behalf of the airline. I apologize on behalf of civil aviation, and I apologize on my personal behalf as a Ghanaian. This is unacceptable.
Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Otiku Afisa Jaba there. The Open Society Initiative for West Africa, OSIWA, says beyond our issuing an apology, disabled victims of such incidents must institute a class action against companies that infringe on their rights.
There's an approach we use a lot called strategic litigation, class action. And I think that this is the way in which we should go. An apology is great. It's a recognition that you made a mistake and you're asking for forgiveness. I do think, though, that because sometimes I'm radical and bold, I would actually institute a class action against the company. I think they need to be sued. It is not an infringement of constitution. It's not an infringement of laws, international and local laws that Ghana is party to. But you cannot, in this modern day, treat somebody like that. And she's not the only one, by the way. I've heard so many cases of persons traveling, persons with disabilities traveling and going through all sorts of very embarrassing, questioning and treatment by airline officials. So I do think that perhaps a case would really send a very strong message.
That's OSIWA's position there. Now, the Ghana Federation of Disabled Organizations says calls for an apology from Africa World Airlines to Rita Kreba must not end there. They insist that there must be a legal action as well to deter others from mistreating persons with disability. Maunyo Yako Dagba is the national vice president of the federation.
She should sue the airline. They should go to court, and she should be compensated because she had an important conference to attend, and she couldn't attend it. You understand? I don't think mere apology. Otherwise, people will keep doing that. So there should be some punitive measure to be able to discourage other people. I think when that is done, others will begin to learn. Otherwise, I think apology every time will not solve the problem. I think when you are seeking for justice, our law proceedings and everything brings into focus compensations and all that must be paid to the victim, and that must be enforced. Otherwise, then why will you even go to court if you only want an apology and that ends it? Anybody can do it again and just apologize. You understand? So I think the law must bite.